Okay, this is interesting. So IGN has an exclusive over 20-minute video on WWE 2K26's MyRise. We just covered the ringside report, so this is interesting right here. It says WWE 2K26 MyRise gameplay first 23 minutes with developer commentary. There's a couple of things here that I'm hoping to see, hoping that they changed. And like one of the biggest things for me, and look, this is not about complaining, it's not about hating on anything, but I think anybody in my comment section, y'all should definitely voice like some of the stuff that you would like to see. For me personally, I got kind of tired of the on-screen transparent text messages with the emails and stuff, because it felt like it took away so much immersion from the story. And yes, we have seen that in the past, of course, but like Road to WrestleMania or whatever flow they had, you still got to walk around, you still got to interact with people in the backstage. There was still like a lot of like little things you can do that made the story kind of fun. It really felt like a story. You had people hating on you, you had some people rooting for you, you had some sneaky backdoor shit going on. In this case, it kind of like they cut all that out, they cut the fat out, and they just basically stamped some stuff here that just felt like it was insignificant, to the actual story. So let's go ahead, check this out. Sean Conaway, the lead narrative designer, and Nathan Craig, lead game designer, are going to talk about MyRise. I think it's going to be interesting to get a glimpse of what we're going to look forward to with 2K26's MyRise.
WWE 2K, and we're excited to be here today working on my career in MyRise way back in 2K19, and it's so awesome to finally
he's been there for that long? Cool.
Everybody loves a good comeback story.
I really can't wait to see the island stuff. I think the images they use is kind of gas, low key. Like the CM Punk little thing with the showcase.
So many epic comebacks over the years in wrestling, and it really makes for a great setup for a MyRise story.
I'm gonna bump up the speed.
Let's take a look at this year's intro video.
Okay. By the way, shout out to Wade Barrett, one of the best narrators in the game right now. I genuinely can listen to him tell a story all day.
The archetype returns tonight on the Raw After Mania.
Let's go. The archetype
really nice.
is back. Before we move forward, there are going to be some minor spoilers ahead, so
what the heck?
Now you know.
This year's MyRise is a return to two separate men's and women's division experiences after we had the 2K25 co-story of Mutiny. Jordan Grace and Braun Breaker are our main antagonists as Paul Heyman's champions, and you can choose the women's division or the men's division. Today, we're going to be previewing the women's division.
All right. And just so everybody knows, those divisions do have separate rewards.
Man, these graphics look harsh, yo. I'm saying they look crazy harsh. It is funny though, they don't want to show the men's one because it'll be way too much of a spoiler. So
it's always worth playing both.
Custom casual attire is back, as we can see here, along with some really cool two-tone hair. That's a new feature in CAS. Looks great. The Archetypes feed is blown up for their big return. You might notice this is a new backstage. We actually have 3 different backstages. We're trying to replicate, how it feels touring around in WWE. You don't always see the same backstage on a weekly basis.
Ringside pass points. Oh, now it shows. Okay, so yeah, you do get perks, but it also shows your ringside pass points.
Story, not only as the Raw GM, but also as a friend and moral compass for the player. That's right. For the first time since 2K22, there are major fan favorite and rule breaker decision points and story branches. Adam, of course, will try to steer the player to do the right thing whenever possible.
So many wrestling games continue to explore what it means to be with the fans or not, and we're continuing that tradition and finding new ground.
This is a cool decision point here. It's not going to drastically alter your story, but the player gets to decide, where have I been for 2 years? Was I off in Hollywood, making movies? Was I spending time with my family? Was I out with an injury that I was rehabbing? Today we're going to make the choice that the player was off in Hollywood.
And people will remember.
Yeah, you're going to hear other characters react to that decision throughout the entire story.
Not an easy first match back.
Adam was great on VO, by the way, as always.
If it were up to me, I would have given you a warm-up. I'm pulling for you. But Jordan Grace, she's the real deal.
And here's our cover star, CM Punk, who played a major part in last year's Mutiny story.
What's it been? 10, 12 years?
Something like that.
CM Punk had a smaller cameo role in this year's MyRise. We kind of wanted to give him a break after the 3 to 4 hours of voiceover he did on 2K25. I'm mostly kidding, Nathan, but we do actually take that into consideration each year. If a superstar has a major role, we don't often want to go back to them necessarily the next year, just to give them a break, give the story a break, and freshen things up.
There's so many factors that go into making this story mode every year.
We also found time to watch that movie you starred in as, what was it, Cop number 6?
It was actually.
And there you see CM Punk commenting on the player's Hollywood background. There's some fun banter about being a cop in a movie, which is funny because CM Punk has had some nice roles lately playing a cop, so it's kind of hard imitating life there.
Why change what always works?
Love to see it.
Change can be good. Not saying you need
Okay,
to
I'm just gathering in how the story is.
You don't want to rely on old habits too much.
And there he says, well, you don't need to start a mutiny. That's just a fun little Easter egg reference to last year's mutiny story.
Yeah. Good luck out there.
Let's talk to the Oracle himself, Paul Heyman. It was a blast recording and working with Paul this year. He recorded at WWE headquarters for probably the better part of 3 to 4 hours. He's a major part of this year's story. We're going to find out here, Nathan, a key story point that before the player left WWE on their 2-year hiatus, Heyman offered them the chance to be the next Paul Heyman client, and they actually turned him down. So that's a big reason that Heyman is going to be a thorn in the player's side throughout this year's story.
That makes
Heyman will
sense.
not forget.
Yeah, Paul had a smaller role back in 2K20's My Career. For anyone who remembered that, he was sort of the gatekeeper and the player finding The Undertaker. But this is his biggest role yet in a My Career or MyRise. Again, I worked with Paul going on 20 years ago now, back at WWE on the creative team when he was the lead writer of SmackDown. I think that really helped in our recording process this year. I think there was a level of trust there with the material we had written for him. And like I said, Paul knocked it out of the park. He did a great job. He's definitely one of the major stars, if not the major star.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else that would gather, like, just, you know, trying to speed up a little bit, because we see it's the same kind of like traditional dialogue. I guess they're going to put more emphasis on decision making, or whatever your response will be will carry over, but a little bit more in depth. There'll be more consequences. There'll be more things to look forward to depending on what you decide. So, okay. And of course, again, like I said, I can listen to Paul Heyman narrate all day too, or be a commentator in the game, or be part of the story, of course. It's just one of these things where I wish they could turn these into cutscenes, you know, more immersed and stuff like that. It's been like this for a couple years, so like it kind of, you know, it drags a little bit, in my opinion.
Not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
Huh.
Let's go take on Jordan Grace.
She probably
Oh,
gonna
hey,
whip
it's
your ass.
Trons. Let's go.
Yeah, the archetype has returned.
Looks like we have a new
Okay,
UI
she got the
element there. What is that,
the
Oh,
dye
that's
on
a
her
really
hair,
cool
that new
thing that I've been
feature.
playing around with, Nathan. You get to do some self-expression on your way to the ring. You can have pyro that erupts on the
Oh,
stage. You can have
I
pyro
like
in the
that. They
ring.
even implemented
You
that
can
into
do some fan
MyRise?
favors, little
Okay.
break your mannerisms on your way. It's a really fun interactive
You can't give
way
it that
to
much
make some of
pyro
these
though.
different
There's no
entrances.
way you're gonna give it that much
Continue to try to
pyro.
make entrances something great to watch, but also something fun to interact with.
And I don't want everyone to panic out there. You will notice the player is wearing special archetype gear with an archetype entrance and archetype trons, music, etc. But that's only going to be for this match, where the story.
I don't want y'all to think that she's walking funny. I am on 1 point. Let me go back to normal. I do want to show that she's
Archetype trons, music, etc. But that's only going to be for this match, where the story's headed is the player can't keep doing the same thing if they want to find success on their comeback. They need to reinvent themselves. They need to come out with new gear, new music, new entrance, new trons. But don't worry, this isn't a redo of the lock. This is only going to be for one match.
We don't want to lock you into any persona.
By the way, you might be hearing Booker T and Wade Barrett for the first time, who are new additions
That's
to our
fire.
commentary team for the entire game.
Man, how the hell you got some pyro like that? You ain't the Flame. You ain't Kane.
It's just really cool to hear some new voices and flavor across our story. They did a great job this year.
You know, it can be tempting to skip entrances after the first few times you watch one, but in MyRise, we actually really reward players if they can hang around and watch the whole thing, which is a lot easier to do now with all
that's
these
gas.
awesome interactive entrance features.
That's
Yo,
right, Nathan.
Jordan
We have scripted
Grace looks
commentary for
perfectly
all of
scanned
our
in this
matches
game.
MyRise,
Nah, she's
whether
one of
that
the
be
best looking
entrances,
scans.
Match start commentary, victory.
I ain't gonna
losses.
lie.
Really pay attention.
One of the
to those
best looking
lines, 'cause there's
scans.
Some fun Easter eggs there.
I truly wish they allowed you to change their gear each match, or their hairstyle depending on how they put their hair. That would be so immersive, like,
Just
if
want
they
to say
could do
how
that.
cool it is that we're featuring Jordan Grace, by the way. Like, she's had quite the rise, pun intended, as of late. We had the pleasure of working with Jordan. She actually did mocap for 2K25 for the Mutiny story.
Ooh.
And, you know, just a year later, now
It look a
she's
little
the
bit
featured
bouncier.
rival
The
of the
ragdoll
Division
features
story.
got
It's
enhanced,
just really
so
cool to see her success. So we wanted to have the archetype looking strong here.
I'll be talking shit. I'll be like, man, fuck this game. And I'll be like, I love this game. I got like a love and hate relate. No, well, man, fuck the lag, yo. I don't like the lag. Please fix the online lag.
At the
That's
start
what I'm
of the
hoping
match,
for.
But that's quickly going to take
fix
a
the
turn, as
lag,
you're about to
please.
see.
Of course, I mean,
We be running this
Jordan's
shit
a
on
juggernaut.
stream, man, with the homies.
Yeah, she was
Damn.
great for a lot of reasons, but when it came time to figure out what to do for this scene, she has so
Damn.
many cool moves to utilize.
Looks more
she
fluid.
made our
Even
jobs
as a
lot
cut,
easier.
even like as a slingshot cutscene of gameplay. No, well, not really slingshot of gameplay.
So the archetype fails in their comeback match. And this, of course, will set the story in motion for their big comeback.
Damn.
This was not the comeback the archetype had hoped for, to say the least.
Paul's always got to rub it in.
So when we were writing this scene, we wanted a big exclamation point at the end, and you're about to see it right here. So it's not only that the player just lost the match,
right on your
they
back.
took a huge gorilla press to the outside. We wanted to end the scene with them really in rough shape down at the ground, looking up to Heyman and his champion Jordynne Grace. That's all intentional. The positioning of the characters here and the camera angles, really trying to show that the player has a long road ahead of them if they truly want to make this comeback succeed.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to fall into the hole to get out of it.
Damn.
You're now joined by.
So new this year, we have press
That's
conferences,
super dope.
which
That's
is a really
super dope.
cool part of this year's mode. It's a great opportunity for the player to express themselves via choices. There were a lot of memorable moments, of course, this past year with press conferences in WWE.
And Byron
If
Saxton.
you think about John Cena on his farewell tour when he, put R-Truth through the table. So that's something we wanted to capture in this year's MyRise. So what you're seeing here are what we call flavor choices on MyRise. They don't really necessarily branch your story one way or the other, but in this instance, it's a way for the user to start to explore whether they want to be a fan favorite or a rule breaker wrestler on their MyRise story. And that's foreshadowing the big choice at the end of this scene where they will make that branching decision. It's a good opportunity for the user to sort of explore which direction they want to go, but not necessarily have to commit right in the moment.
It's hard to understand him when the dialogue is still playing voice. Like, they should have lowered the voice.
Those big dramatic moments in this year's MyRise are some of my favorite parts of the mode. I think in games especially, people get caught up in just going down the morally good route, or in this case, the for the fans route, but part of wrestling is exploring that darker side. I mean, look what happened when Cena did it. And in this year's MyRise especially,
I really
those
wish they would have went all the way
branches
deep
are
with
awesome.
that side of Cena, but they ruined that shit.
Were they ever a WWE Women's Champion? They say, write what you know. So I assume they've expanded their waistline eating a lot of fast food. Congrats on that achievement.
Just like those Paul Heyman ones I mentioned earlier, we shot all new press conference gestures for the player to be seated in this position.
Yeah, surprisingly, sitting down in a video game is not easy to do, contrary to popular belief.
With how your night turned out, are you going to continue your comeback? Or was this just a one-time appearance and you'll be headed back to Hollywood?
Oh.
So here's our first major fan favorite or rule breaker decision branch. I just want to mention, today we're going to explore the start of the rule breaker storyline, but you're not locked into this decision. You will have the opportunity throughout the story to change alignment. You could either play the story entirely as a fan favorite, you could play as a rule breaker, or you could flip-flop back and forth. It's up to you.
When I'm playing MyRise, I like to kind of go hard and fast down one lane, but to do kind of a turn at the end, because characters realize the consistency and continuity of your character. They respond to it, and it makes it feel alive, like they've been paying attention to me the whole time.
But then he got put
Yeah, and I just want to emphasize,
Ooh, yikes, she gave Byron Saxton the smoke.
Paths are drastically different. You're going to get completely different storylines, unlockables. So I would encourage everyone to play both paths between men's and women's. Really, you can get a lot of replayability this year.
Definitely. You may even see some familiar faces.
Yeah.
Try to tear me down so they can feel better about their miserable lives.
And she just cut that promo on him.
This comeback isn't over. It's just getting started. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get back to the top and take back what's mine. And if you don't like that, you can go to hell.
No, this whole turning head shit getting annoying.
Ladies and gentlemen, the archetype.
So if we had chosen fan favorite, we would not walk out and slap the microphone over. That's the level of detail we're talking about and unique content that you get based on your decisions.
The story might be done with that archetype gear, but using the create suite, I mean, you can really go in there, modify it, add some sick textures, colors, changes.
The guy that's outside the ring was how your MyRise character looked last year. Like, I think it looked a little bit like that.
And really make that part for whatever they want.
Yeah, minor spoiler, there's actually 2 versions of this arena that you'll eventually unlock, but only if you go down this rule breaker path.
Yeah, both branches are really distinct in so many ways.
Come on, let's go.
Damn, y'all gotta wrestle.
Championship belt on the background on the wall. That's a championship that the player won in their first run in WWE.
Damn.
And speaking of returning familiar faces, you may recognize the voice of our female player character from 2K22. It was great to have Jeannie back.
Yeah, we're getting quite the
that's
pantheon
cool.
of my players as we keep making this mode.
Do I look like I'm finished? Do I look buried? Huh?
That's kind of cool. All right. I like that.
I know I haven't been here much, but now that I am, there's going to be some tough lessons. Because I finally realized that to make it to the top, you have to be merciless, relentless. Are you ready for that? Who's next? Come on!
Looks like most
Hell
everybody here
no.
just couldn't hang. I wonder who's left.
No, and you may recognize some of those other characters from GM mode. We tend to borrow GM characters on an annual basis. They really help fill out our world when we need some extra bodies.
That cross-pollination of modes is some of my favorite parts of our game.
They
that
look
connective
great. They look
tissue
like
that makes it
GTA
feel like
created characters.
one
They
big
look
world.
fucked up.
Justine's niece a few years back.
So here we're going to get into some backstory and find out what Moreno's been up to since the last time we saw her.
Moreno.
Just Moreno now. The Rock's kid showed up in NXT and they took my first name and
She's been out of WWE for a few years.
And that's tough.
And now she's trying to fight her way back on her own comeback journey, just like the player.
Is that what you did?
What's interesting, Nathan, is the player's alignment decision actually affects Moreno's as well.
Did that trigger
If you go down the rule breaker path, Moreno will follow in your footsteps and also become a rule breaker. But if you're on the fan favorite side of things, Moreno will be a fan favorite wrestler as well.
They're kind of a protege of sorts.
Yeah, definitely.
I got pretty good at both.
Oh, she had to go to Japan?
So what the hell are you doing here?
Hear me out.
So what Moreno's pitching to the player here is like, look, you came out for that first match in your same old archetype gear, same music, same entrance. Moreno's saying if you're going to really succeed in this comeback, you need to reinvent yourself. And so she's offering to help the player by going out on the indie scene for a bit to really get down and dirty and reinvent themselves.
And whenever they are reinventing themselves, like, people should make custom victories, custom entrances. It can be daunting, but it's so satisfying when you really make your My Player your own.
Or you could get out there
And that shovel may come back. I don't want to spoil anything too big, but you can imagine if you're a rule breaker and someone delivers a shovel to you to try to rub it in your face, you may end up using that to get some revenge later in your journey.
Let them know.
It is WWE after all.
Nathan, can you talk about what this new Rise match feature is that we're seeing here?
Absolutely. So this new icon when you're in a hub kind of shows a new reworked feature we have. Last year we had live event matches. This year we've rebranded them as Rise matches, but it's more than just a new word for the same thing. From the ground up, we've really tried to look at that flow and find a way to give players story, but also get them in the ring that much quicker. So this year, engaging with Rise matches is going to be the mechanism that gets you more towards those big story beats. But you'll still find story amongst the Rise matches, whether it's in the UI, who you're fighting, the types of matches you have, the quest givers. Everybody's going to pay attention to where you're at in our story. For example, here we have as you win matches.
I'm trying to
For example,
see,
here we have our Rise match screen. It might seem like a small detail, but being able to preview your opponent.
Who's Trixie Gambit? Is that like a new character?
They look like before you go in is a big shift from kind of the flow of doing these. As you win matches, you'll get rebooks, which allow you to tell your quest giver, no, I don't want that. And they'll respond by giving you a different match. Definitely use that rebook feature.
Okay, they got the features on the bottom left, like the stare downs and stuff.
Rise match loops.
You might have noticed in the Rise match kickoff screen with Tavish that it said 0 out of 12 stars. And so what that means is we've just arrived in this section of the story, and our goal is to reach 12 or more stars to advance in the main path. So you'll see those star counts update as you participate in more Rise matches. Many times, you'll have the opportunity to earn more than 12 stars if you want. You can stay and wrestle more matches in this section. It's up to you if you want to advance. Sometimes, however, once you reach that star count, we will advance you in the main path automatically.
As you're playing Rise matches, all of them give you attribute points. It's kind of a new way.
I'm really trying to, like, the UK club thing is actually super fire. I'm actually trying to see, okay, the rewards section.
Yeah, the best part is when you earn a star, the game remembers, and you'll never
CM Punk
unearn
Retro?
a star
Hey!
as far as the screen's concerned. So
that's cool.
All the playthroughs you do are constantly making progress towards this rewards track.
So you'll have the opportunity here to earn arenas, characters, my faction cards,
okay,
cast parts, and Nathan, these are some characters we've seen before, but also some brand new original ones as well.
Yeah, Sean, we have a balance of familiar MyRise characters.
Wait, what
We
did I
have
just
our
see?
wacky characters at the end of the rewards track, but sprinkled throughout the way, we have just generally appealing superstars that every wrestling fan wants. I mean, look at this retro CM Punk.
Yeah, the CM Punk retro. I don't think this is a spoiler.
Oh wow, Scott Steiner.
We've seen him in some other trailers.
So cool.
But this is a really cool tie-in to our cover star showcase mode. This is a really cool tie-in to our cover star showcase mode.
The Fiend Bray Wyatt burn in the roster in my faction. That's gas as fuck. Damn, that's gas.
Won't get this character in showcase. This is exclusive.
I'm glad he's not for purchase either. Oh, they got the bronze Braun Breaker.
Global Star Rewards track was kind of a heavy grind, so we've tried to shorten this a bit while still providing a challenge.
Yeah, there is a scenario.
I'm trying to skip ahead.
Getting you one step closer to Jordan.
I've gotten enough frequent flyer miles. You want a funeral? Here it comes.
So as Moreno challenges us to step in the ring, we're going to wrap things up here, but we want to give you one more sneak peek of where this rule breaker storyline.
I'm skipping because I kind of get the gist of what this is. Whoa!
That's the archetype.
Ooh!
Archetype? No.
Ah!
2-3's in a lot of pain.
I am back, and I am just getting started.
That's right, we're back and we're just getting started. Thanks again for joining us on IGN's first look at MyRise.
We hope.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna put at the end of the video, like I'm gonna put in the beginning of the video, like a tab thing where you guys could just skip ahead if you guys feel like you've seen enough of the gameplay stuff and got an idea. They definitely added a lot of new features, of course, like the aftermath, the after matches. Like you could have like the commentators, you sitting down, getting interviewed and stuff. I like some of the reward systems, of course, especially getting some XP points and reward points going towards the ringside pass, because again, we want to spend time on this. We don't want to feel like we're behind on the ringside pass now, because you got to now pay or unlock whatever to get some of these superstars for the DLC. Now, as far as the story goes, yeah, they made it more in depth. It's more immersive when it comes down to the cutscenes, and the dialogue per se, and of course the matches. I already know it's gonna be fun to play. My problem that I have a little bit of a thing is like the overall, like it's still the same somewhat of like the text message screen, whatever, or you just choosing who to talk to first. Like, I really want more freedom in the MyRise. I really wish, again, one day they just do like maybe they'll do it with the John Cena, because I know his story's coming up next year, but maybe like a road to WrestleMania, even though he loses. But it would be fun to see that aspect of it. Like, it would be cool to kind of see a road to WrestleMania style with the dialogue. Like, it just seems more immersive. People like that type of stuff. But yeah, I see what they're offering here with the gameplay. I like the decision making. You go from heel to babyface, and if you feel like it ain't working, you could try to transition back over to being a heel, depending on how the crowd reacts, how your outcomes of your matches are, trying to get to the certain amount of stars so that you get to the better path of where you're trying to go. I like that stuff. But let me know what you guys think. Do you feel like the MyRise still feels like it's lacking a little bit? Drop your comments below though. It's your boy 30G. God bless everybody. I know WWE 2K26's Creator Fest is going on, so we're gonna see a lot of gameplay coming up. But drop your thoughts, man. I'm out of here. God bless.